Hi there, welcome everybody. This is where we currently are on this particular braid. We've got about 3 1/3 Marudai's mirrors, which that's about probably about 35 inches. Mirror is about 11.5 inches across here. Couldn't quite fit a 12-inch design in a 3D printer. Alrighty, so again for this braid, let's get these a little bit more evened up. We start here from the outside of this pair here to the inside of this pair here. This color here matches here, jumping over one, so I know it's the right move. Then I take the outside from this one and put the inside of what was the pair there, and jumping over one, the color matches. So outside of this one to the inside of that pair, color matches for the next one over. Let me take this one and bring it around here, and we match color there. So this will go to the center over here, and the outside to the center over here, and we have color pairs now. So single, color pair, and single. And we go from the right to the left, and oops, grabbed one too far, and the left to the right. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hey, Gwendolyn, nice to see you on. Well, it looks like the Pro Vigil that I'm taking lasts about 12 hours. So since I took it about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning, I'm to the point where I'm getting kind of tired again. So I'm going to have to learn how to accommodate for that. I'm also trying to cut down my caffeine intake so that don't have near as much of that, just enough to keep my migraines at bay. So right to left and left to right. And so trying to figure what I need to be doing in the shop this weekend. I have constable certification on Saturday, but that's only a 4-hour class, so I'll actually be home probably about 2 o'clock or so from that, which will be nice. And I'll be good for another year, though I definitely need to be hitting the range more often than once a year. Hey, Jennifer, nice to see you on. Yes, I heard about Secret Mixed Squirrel, and I did post to Ian's Twitter comment about that. I didn't really get a chance to interact with her much. I admit I haven't been all that active in the different chats, but I am definitely sorry to hear that, and I wish her family peace and acceptance, and everybody who knew her to have fond memories of her, and as they say, have her memory be a blessing. Alrighty. Okay. Sorry, just thinking about that, kind of a moment of silence type thing. And time to drop some of these tama here. They're getting a little high up. My summer is starting to close in on me very quickly. I need to get a bunch of stuff done fairly soon. I have to figure out how to do all that in the time frames allotted. But my two biggest priorities are making some wooden engraved signs for the event I'm going to in late July, early August, and getting about 5 takadai made for that event. Also, got to figure out how I'm going to be able to stream from the site, because the 3 weeks I was out last year for the event really seriously impacted the growth I was having for this channel. I mean, I'm still doing reasonably well with membership growth, but my views vary up and down by quite a bit. Alrighty. Yeah, almost ready to start back up again. I'll do 2 iterations of pattern and then drop the rest of them that are on this side that will then be on that side down, so that it's about uniform all around. Okay, so split those up in the pairs they need to be in, and out to in, 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 and out to in. So I haven't been getting a whole lot of, actually I haven't been getting any comments on what braids I should start up next. I do have an older private message for a braid that I wanted to wait until I had a Marudai like this. So when this one's done, I will probably do that one on this one. But I have 2 Marudais that are available that I need to figure out what I want to do with those. And I need to spend a little bit of time working on the designs for Rob's braid so I can make sure I'm doing the version of it that he would like best. And there we go. That's one iteration of the pattern. I noted that we started off with about 4 viewers right away. That was a nice thing to see. Alrighty. And I guess I did 2 iterations. It didn't seem like it was that fast. Alrighty, let's drop these down. Let's see, I watched recently the video that Ian Runkle did about the Pinkerton agents being sent to recover Magic the Gathering cards. Not that I had a really high opinion of Wizards of the Coast in the first place. Never actually played Magic. I did play a couple of collectible card games, but it was Jihad, which was the World of Darkness vampire card game. Also played the Rage, the Apocalypse, which was the werewolf version of that game. Well, they weren't actually the same game. You could probably mash them up and come up with some sort of mechanic, but they were actually different games. Oops. That was not the move I needed to do then. I should not be that distracted. I apologize. Like I said, apparently the Pro Vigil wore off a little bit earlier than I was expecting. So outside and in, outside and in. It probably doesn't help that I'm trying to cut down on my caffeine intake, which is probably the major difference. But after starting this Saturday, there was a different way that the doctor suggested I take it, where I split it up, take it in the morning and the afternoon, half doses, which might work better for me. But I'm looking forward to not consuming quite as much caffeine. I don't like feeling jittery or anything like that, so of course it's been a long time since I felt jittery from caffeine. Alrighty. Okay, no worries about that, Gwendolyn. I'm thinking possibly of maybe uh, here. This one deserves to be shown. Sorry, I didn't do it earlier. And yeah, I'm thinking about possibly maybe doing um, a get my brain to function here, a poll for some likely ones. That might be a good idea to do. I'd probably do that on the community tab page for this channel. Take a quick look, see if anybody's on Rumble chatting. I don't want to abandon that, even though I only have like about 11 followers right now on Rumble. Alrighty, okay, but yeah, I'm trying to think of some good ones that are at least. I'm not sure if I should do some of the simpler ones just to show how accessible it is and how easy it is to get started with the simpler patterns, or do some of the more complex patterns to make it more interesting for intermediate and advanced users or braiders. Sorry, IT background. I tend to refer sometimes to people sometimes as users because they use the equipment. Not that they're like narcissistic people users where they use and abuse people's hospitality. I do know the occasional narcissistic person, but fortunately, they don't really impact my life much. So I'm fortunate in that regard. But I have interacted with them enough that I am aware of some of the warning signs and hopefully can avoid most of those people in my life these days. There we go. Been listening to Empire of Silence on audiobook at work. I seem to be doing much better at work with the staying awake, which I'm really enjoying. One of my sleep avoidance techniques that I was using at work was I would have like low calorie snacks like individual Tic Tacs or chewing gum or something like that that I would chew on when I started getting tired. So, of course, I was doing it most of the time. And I'm hoping that not doing that, the little bit of calories associated with that will, the lack of them will start helping with my weight loss. Alrighty, there we go. Left to right. And right, or right to left, and then left to right. I always have to think for just a second as which is left and which is right. And out to in, 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 and out to in. There we go. Even those up just a little bit. Well, I appreciate the fact that you are coming and watching the braiding. I'm hoping to, in the next couple of months, getting a website set up so that I've got resources for people to be able to purchase the braiding equipment at a reasonable price so that people can do this if they would like to themselves. I also appreciate the people who just, want to watch this being done. That helps me a lot personally as well. Since I think both of you have been chatting, watch Law and Lumber on the Discord like a couple weeks back. I had mentioned, in a super chat to Rob that my router was an openbuilds.com model, and that I liked their system. And he looked into it and said, "Ooh, there's looks like a deep forum, a lot of options, whatever. And then like 5 or 6 days later on the Discord, he did a generic comment to the person who mentioned openbuilds.com. I don't like you. I mean, you're awesome, and I like what they got, but don't like you much right now. Just because it's a deep rabbit hole with a lot of information to assimilate before you make a decision on if and or what you would like there. But the openbuilds.com forums are nice for like CNC routers and 3D printers. They sell parts kits so you can make them yourself. And they also have people posting builds where people make their own routers, lathes, mills, 3D printers, various different computer numeric control things. And out to in, 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 and out to in. Yep. It's the ADD type thing. Speaking of which, I probably should see if I can get diagnosed for that, because I appear from knowing people who have it that I probably do, because I have a lot of similar things and similar coping mechanisms. My sister is currently trying to get diagnosed for that. She's a couple years older than me, and one of the doctors was telling her that he didn't really think she had it because she did so well in school growing up, and it was more that she just had really good coping strategies and lots of caffeine and whatnot to keep her focused for when she needed it. But she's currently a pharmacist in Mississippi. I have to remember, she moved away from Louisiana. And prior to that, she lived in Alaska. So I haven't I haven't been able to meet or talk with her a whole bunch lately, for the last 10 or 15 years. But we've been chatting more on like Facebook Messenger and whatnot. And it's been really nice chance to kind of reconnect with her as my sister. We didn't really have any like disaffection or problems or anything like that. It was just a matter of a lot of time zone differences, not talking in person and whatnot. So, but she and I were the closest siblings when we were growing up. So it's really nice to do that again. Yeah. Catching up on the chat real quick. Okay, I understand. Let's see. This one real quick. Yeah, I tend to have multiple projects going at the same time. So I understand that scheduling issue. And I'm glad that it's helpful for that, Gwendolyn. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons for stuff like that I wanted to do this channel, was to show people that it may be intimidating at first, but with a little bit of practice and some knowledge and experience, it is a little bit easier than it would seem at first glance, and kind of get people over that little bit of a resistance hump type thing. All right, so I think I did that one wrong. All right, so outside to inside that pair, outside to inside, that looks right. Outside to inside, there we go. That's what was looking wrong. Go outside to inside, out to in, and out to in. I just have to remember which color pairs are matching and which ones have a odd color in it that's going to be moved in just a few seconds. And right to left, and left to right. But yes, having the larger Maru-dai makes this much easier to do. For when I've got 32 tama. For 16 and occasionally 24, you really don't need larger than a 10-inch mirror. And that's what most Maru-dai is being sold. I've run across are. There's a round braiding frame called a dai Maru-dai that's kind of like a Maru-dai that has these like crescents next to it, where you can like take strands out of the pattern, set it up out of the way, keep braiding, and then bring them back in and take other ones out. I haven't actually used that one. I'm not sure how the patterns would work, but after I do this portion here, I think I can show you guys what it looks like real quick. I'm still practicing and learning new stuff with StreamYard, so let's see. Okay, let's see if I can find a picture of it real quick. It's kind of amusing. I'm actually seeing a lot of my my own thumbnail pictures here for when I'm searching for Maru-dai. That lets me know that I'm getting a lot of information out there, at least enough that Google seems to be interested in it. Come on, let's see if I can find it. Maybe with a hyphen. Sorry for the delay here. Seems to want to think that dai Maru-dai is DIY Maru-dai, which is probably a more searchable term than dai Maru-dai. I do have a picture of it on another computer, which unfortunately I won't be able to show you folks from this one. Let's see. Yeah, the problem is a lot of people spell it with Maru and then dai, separate words. And so as a result, Google isn't very helpful. All right, I'll have to set that up for another stream. Get the picture on this computer so I can do it there. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to distract from the braiding for that long. Alrighty, so out to in, 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 and out to in. And I won't be able to watch it tonight live, but Nick Ricada will be on again after his Philly trip. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I might stay up late enough when he sets up a new locals chat that I could leave a comment for him there. But had a chance to meet him and his lovely lady wife while they were out here. And out to in, 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 and out to in. Yeah, after this stream, before I go to bed, I'm definitely going to have to get on the elliptical. I was last on it on Sunday. Alrighty. Doesn't work if you don't use it. go. Out to in, out to in, out to in, out to in. Go separate. Out to in, out to in, and out to in. There we go. And right to left, and left to right. I have to drop down the left and right ones more often than I do front and back, because they tend, the way the braid is shaped like this, it crosses more in this direction than it does in that direction, or it's got further to cross. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and drop these a little bit. Just about time to raise the bag up, but I think I can go a couple more iterations of the pattern first. And I'm also thinking this Pro Vigil would work a little bit better if I got more sleep at night, so I'm going to be trying to do that as well. Now that I actually seem to be able to be awake, I need to recharge to a certain level, so I'm not fighting that as well. Alrighty. And out to in, out to in, out to in, out to in, and out to in, and out to in. There we go. And right to left, and left to right. Pull it snug, or it won't be tight. Out to in, 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 and out to in. I also should edit and post a few more 3D printing shorts, though my 3D printer hasn't wanted to succeed in a print for a little while. Probably need to adjust the supports, and that's the issue I've been having. But that's technical and complicated, so I won't get into that too much here. And there we go. So out to in, 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 and out to in. And oops, jump that one over. Right to left, and left to right. And out to in, 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 and out to in. Let's even that up real quick. And right to left, and left to right. Snug that up. And out to in, 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 and out to in. There we go. Catch up real quick here. Okay. If you need more detail on the pattern, please feel free to ask. I can slow it down or try and do it in slower, more detail type things to make it easier for you. Um, I can also tell you which book to get the pattern in if you need a physical or drawn representation of what I'm doing to help with that. I'm here to help you guys and do whatever I can with that. However, I got to be careful. I can't violate copyright. YouTube has very strong rules on that. And I don't want to deprive the people who've done the work for writing these books of their income. Just regardless of the legality, I just don't feel right doing that. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to start from the pattern again. All right, so we have like single color, double color, double color, double color, single color, double color, double color, double color. And if you notice, the gold is opposite the black, and the white is opposite the blue for the arrows. Okay, so even though we match color pairs like this with a single on each outside, the way the pattern goes, each of these two is a pair, each of these two is a pair, and each of these two is a pair. Same for here, here, and here. So at the start of this, for these pairs, if this edges is outside and this is inside along here, that's where I'm using those terms for. So on the bottom ones facing me, I start with the outside of this pair, meaning the one closest to that edge. And then I move it across for this pair here, the white and black on each side. I move it to the inside edge of that pair. And then even though I've got 3 and 3 now in this, I take the outside edge of that set and move it to the inside edge of what was the previous pair over here where there's only one left. So that's the first move, or first set of moves. Then I do that for the next one. So I take the outside of these pairs and I move it to the inside of these pairs here. So outside to inside. Then I take the outside edge of that now 3 set and move it to the inside of the set that I just pulled from to start out with that. And then I do the same thing for the last one. I take the outside of these pairs, move it to the center here, all the way center, and then I take the outside of those sets and move it to the inside of that. And that is all of the crossing back and forth this direction done. And then I do these back and forth to kind of lock these together. So I take from the outside of that 4 to the center of the 4 over here. So now there's 6. So I take the outside of that, outside of just, I know I'm changing it a little bit, outside of the group, center being the center line here, outside being top and bottom. And then I move them over here to the center of that V, and that is the whole pattern. I hope that helps. Hopefully that explanation will make it a little easier for you to see it as we go along. And like I said, I'm happy to, anytime you would like a more detailed explanation or for me to show something specific that doesn't do as well on camera as fast as I've been doing it, I'm happy to share and redo it as slowly as needed until it makes sense, or at least it makes as much sense as you are comfortable with. All right, so outside to inside, 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 and outside to inside. And spread those pairs out a little more evenly. And right to left, and left to right, And I got to pull in the center at every time here. I can miss like every other one and still probably do it. I just have to have not enough pass through that I can still pull it snug, keep the tension even. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move this one up, bag up so it's higher, and it's not likely to hit the bottom again. And let's see how far we've gotten since the start of the stream. So we have 1, 2, we're up to 3 1/3, and we're like about 3 2/3 right now. So we've added this much in length since the start of the stream. Alrighty. Do a quick check, see if anybody's wanting to chat on Rumble. Nope, doesn't look like it, though apparently I got 2 people watching over there. Let's see what the... Whenever I look at the YouTube monitoring, it seems to pause when it was last on the screen. So let's bring that up to live. All right, so looks like we've averaged between 3 and 4 viewers on the YouTube side. Yeah, one of the things that's nice is that once you get it down, you pick up speed just by familiarity. Got to kind of get a good feel over time as to what speed lets you move quickly and correctly, as opposed to the one where you start making mistakes because you're going too fast. So if I wanted to just go for speed, all right, so let's do it like that. Do a couple speed rounds here real quick. And I've got a little close together, so let's even those out a bit. And out to in, 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 and out to in. And I just realized the front and back ones are about due for a tama drop. So I might go a little bit more and then drop them, or I might stop sooner. I'm not sure. All right, so let's go there. 2, 2, and 2. All right, so out to in, 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 and out to in. And pull it snug. Get those ready. And out to in, 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 and out to in. Let's see that one. Okay, let's get those a little more ready to move. And right to left and left to right. Pull that snug. And there we go. And out to in, 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 and out to in. Okay. And right to left, and left to right. Hold snug. Actually, that's a good question, Gwendolyn, and the answer to that is both. There are some patterns where you get different effects just by how you put your color placement when you start out. There's even a couple of a couple people did a booklet where they basically went through all the or most of the potential, not even most, actually, there's quite a few, but they went through some visually appealing combinations so that it's the same pattern, but you choose your layout like 1, 2, or 3 colors, and you lay them out differently. And then you just do the pattern, and you wind up with like, spirals or diamonds on around as you're going around it. But there's probably, there's a lot of like variations on a theme where you've got the same basic movements for like an 8, a 16, a 24, or a 32 tama layout, where you're like going from outside to the center, outside to the center, outside to the center, outside to the center, which is, this one's fairly close to that. That's one of the more common braids. And you wind up with like some arrows or lines that go down the length of it. And you can like change in between like the color layout as you're going along, and like have different patterns along the braid. So you have like a section here of one design, then a section here, and then a section here. And then there are some patterns that are just kind of like all on their own. They don't really scale up or scale down well, and it's just, that's the pattern. So it's really, the answer to that is both. It just depends on the pattern and your color layout as to what you get. And you can use some patterns with multiple color layouts, and sometimes it doesn't really matter your color layout. The pattern being different is what makes them distinct. All right, and out to in, 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 and out to in. Yeah, I got to start dropping the tama again. They're getting a little high up to make it a little harder to pick them up and move them around. Yeah, I think I'm a little more tired than I was expecting when I scheduled this originally. So I'm probably going to go ahead and call it an early night here, and also go to bed earlier than usual. Try and catch up on some sleep so that I'm a little more active later in the day. I do have I am planning on doing the takadai braiding stream tomorrow, but it kind of depends on how well I feel when I get up tomorrow. I'll make the decision whether or not to do it probably about my lunchtime tomorrow, because that's when I usually set up the stream information on the Rumble and YouTube. So still thinking about that. I'm a little concerned about my firearm certification. Just like pre-jitters, my accuracy seems to be where it was last year. It's just a question of how fast I am. But they haven't really been pushing the timing aspect on the firearms classes. But they're not that bad for timing at my skill level. So I expect that'll be okay. But I get paranoid because if I fail, I can't carry a firearm as a constable until I recertify. And I got to get in on a class to do that. And it might even be like 6 months to a year until I can do that. So and if I have to recertify, I got to pay for the class, which is several $100s, which is annoying because it's a show up and shoot class. All right, so right to left and left to right. All right, so I'm going to make sure that these are all rolled out. Go a little bit more, probably in the next 5 minutes. I'll go ahead and stop it. So out to in, out to in, out to in, out to in, and out to in, and out to in. And I'll go ahead and include Secret McSquirrel's friends and family in my prayers, that they'll have peace and acceptance. And out to in, out to in, out to in, out. Let that untangle. Out to in, and out to in. And go ahead and drop these down. I should really get all my Kumihimo books together so I can use them as a reference. And people ask questions and I need to look them up. And I can't do it on stream. I can do it right after the stream gets over. So I'll have it for the next one. There we go. So, and right to left, and left to right. And let's go for a little bit of speed again. So get those ready there and there. So out to in, out to in, out to in, out to in, out to in. And if I move too fast, they start wrapping around each other. So I do have an upper limit on my speed based on my skill level. And I grabbed the wrong one. So those just moved over. So, all right, so one. I hate it when I get confused. Alrighty. Okay. And there we go. All right, so this side's back to where it was. That side's back to where it was. So 2, 2, and 2. So out to in, 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 and out to in. That looks better now. But yeah, I'm starting to make mistakes, so I should probably go ahead and plan on calling it a night. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate you coming and visiting. Makes this a much more enjoyable experience when I have people to chat with. Alrighty, and we'll do a quick check for how far we got. That's not much of an increase since our last check, but all right. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 3 3/4. So that's how much we added on the stream tonight. So we're doing pretty good. Thanks again, everybody, and you have a good night and happy braiding. Stay safe.